This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, you can see the first thing on the agenda is the Transportation Improvement Board, and they've issued its 2020 call for projects. And Miss Carol Ruiz Gibson Olson proposed that the city number 2 priority, as indicated in our recently adopted 6-year street plan, would make an excellent candidate for a small city arterial program grant. And the proposal is to make some improvements on Ritter Street from, I'm thinking, is it from Sussex down to Park Avenue? Is that the section that we're talking about, John? Hello? Oh, there he is. Okay.
I'm going to show you a cross section of the road here shortly that will be looking as though you were standing here at Sussex Avenue looking south
Right.
toward Park. So it's these,
Right.
you know, two blocks. It's just a little bit shy of 1/10 of a mile.
Yeah, it is from Sussex Avenue to Park Avenue. Yeah. The proposal is to provide a 10-foot lane and 2-foot shoulder on the east side and 11-foot lane with curb, gutter, and sidewalk on the east side. The project also added catch basins on the east side and an infiltration ditch on the west side to remove runoff from the surface and keep it from running into private residence. To address the conflict at intersection of Ritter Street and 4th Avenue and Park Avenue, a 100-foot of 6-inch concrete barrier curb is proposed to be installed from Park Avenue to approximately 50 feet north of 4th Avenue, creating a right-in, right-out scenario for vehicles turning off of 4th Avenue onto Ritter Street. And that has always been a bad area. So that's a good thing. Okay, and additionally, the city would be using water capital improvement funds to replace the water mains along the length of the project as part of a PSE Schedule 74 grant project, underground the electrical distribution lines along the length of the project area. When completed, the administration is of the opinion that the finished product will serve as an example of how the city can restore infrastructure by leveraging various funding sources. The SCAP grant total would be $622,245, of which the city would contribute $31,107, exclusively of water main replacement and undergrounding of electrical lines. Are there any questions?
Just for everybody, anticipating Councilmember O'Callahan's question, this money is water capital improvement money, and that is well within our means to execute. Now, the undergrounding of the utilities, again, that it's a 60-40 split, my understanding, and talking with Puget Sound Energy. Puget Sound covers 60% of the cost. The city has to cover 40% of the cost. I don't know what those costs are. I have no idea how much. Where would those funds come from? Well, that gets a little more dicey. Probably municipal capital improvement. You know, that we may be able to get a government grant, our own, to cover that. You know, we haven't thought about it. It's still conceptual. But 3 different projects, all leveraging different sources of capital, including the city's own.
That wasn't going to be my question because we already talked about that. But what I did want to remind everybody is that the reason that we're into this part of the funding is because we didn't put anything up on the first round of the Transportation Policy Board funding, CRPC funding. And
you're breaking up.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, lucky you, and I'll shut up then.
Okay, moving on. 4 months into the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of delinquent utility counts is on the rise. The administration has identified 3 City of Tenino utility account holders whose recent arrearages appear more likely than not to be due to the adverse economical effect of government mandated response. These account holders do not qualify for the City of Tenino COVID-19 relief grant because their income has not been reduced to the level of the federal poverty guidelines. But that has been reduced enough to force those account holders to make some difficult choices. Accordingly, the administration asks the council to render a finding in the case of 3 identified account holders that their arrearages would not have occurred absent the COVID-19 pandemic, and therefore are to be given reimbursement sought under the CARES Act as legitimate COVID expense incurred by the city. Any questions?
That sounds like all assumptions. Have we had communications with these people?
I haven't had conversations with them, but Jen brought, our utility clerk, Jen Sharber, brought me a list of 23 names whose accounts are exceeding the threshold we established for utility accounts. And of those 23 names, 3 of them have never had a prior instance of non-payment or late payment or not having to be able to pay the full amount. And in all 3 cases, one is a contractor. So when the pandemic hit, he was hit hard. And 2 of them were in the food service industry. So no, you're correct. We're basing this on assumptions. We're basing it on the data we're seeing. In those 3 cases, I did not send a late notice out because I wanted to gauge your reaction. The other 20 people received a notice, and the notice was kind of on the lines of, you know, the city has not been charging any late fees, we've not been charging any interest, we've been taking no adverse actions, right? But at some point in time, we will be forced to, and if you would like to,
Microphone, Linda.
if we could do it now, I can put them on a budget payment plan, and when things get back to normal, whatever that's going to look like, they will be protected from some of the adverse actions that we might otherwise have to take, and give them more time to take those arrearages into account.
I don't have a problem with that. But the 3 that you're talking about, I would suggest sending that same type of letter to see even if it really is a problem for them, or if it's just our assumption that it's a problem for them.
Okay, thanks.
So is that saying we're not going to take any action on this tonight then?
No, during the work session, we'll ask you guys, and you know, you'll have to vote.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got about 5 minutes before council actually starts. But my thoughts on this COVID-19, the water bills, is that we can be reimbursed for that money under the CARES Act. Right, John?
That's absolutely correct.
I think it's a fairly true assumption that these people are having trouble. They're struggling because of the lack of work for a contractor and the actual lack of work for I'm sure maybe the food servers are back to work now, but that doesn't mean that they've got enough money to pay their water bill, you know, I mean.
Again,
Well, the biggest thing for me is none of these three accounts that we're talking, they're not new accounts. They've been in town for a long time and they've had exemplary records. So, you know, 2 + 2 generally equals 4.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I'm like, again, I don't have a problem with the plan of people needing the help when they come and say, and because they get the notice, they come and say, okay, how can we fix this? But when you didn't send those three people anything, you're just assuming that they need help. Send the letter. Let them say, yes, we need some help on this. This way, you know, you're just letting them keep their own pride and dignity. It's like helping somebody across the street that you think needs help, and you help them go across the wrong way. One of the first things that I learned when I was a little kid in New York is never try to help somebody across the street unless you ask them. And we're not asking them here. We're just assuming.
Well, that's exactly why I didn't send a letter. You obviously feel strongly about it. I would still rephrase the letter if you know, if you will allow for the possibility of the assumption being correct.
Yeah, as long as the letter goes out. If your assumption is correct, great. If they don't want any help or don't need any help, that's fine too. But you know, send them the letter with the same basic information, however you want to word it, so that they can look at it and say, hey, yes, I can use this help, or no, we've got everything. We've got this, not a problem.
Again, I agree that we'll send them something, but it'll be tailored.
That's fine. And hopefully the assumption is wrong. You know, hopefully the assumption is wrong, but it still makes us look like we were trying to help.
So if we send them letters, is that going to prolong getting this taken care of? Is it going to like prolong this plan?
Well, I think you weren't here, Councilmember Davidson, for the initial part. There were a list of 23 people. We're talking about the 3 people that did not already get a letter. And I'm searching for the opinion of council as to the tone I ought to take in the letter for these 3 people. If my assumptions pan out to be correct, we can take a completely different tack than was taken in the 20 letters that did go out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
yeah, it could be a nice letter. It could be how, you know, we understand what's going on throughout our city. This way, it's not looking like you're pinpointing them, and just explain what the city's been doing for people that may need some assistance, and let them decide what they want to do.
Okay, time to start the meeting.
Where's the gavel? Can't start the meeting without the gavel. Gotta have the gavel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tenino City Council August 11th, 2020 regular meeting. I see everyone's present but Councilman Watterson, unless he's arrived in the last couple seconds. Oh, maybe he has.
I'm not seeing him up here, so.
Oh, I'm not seeing him either. Okay. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Need approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 We need approval of the minutes of the July 28, 2020 regular meeting of the City Council.
So
Move
moved.
approval.
It's been moved. Do I hear a
Second.
second? And seconded to approve the minutes of the July 28, 2020 regular meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Consent calendar. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $66,975.25 and claims checks 29258 through 29283 and other EFTs in the amount of $28,681.82 for a grand total of $95,657 and 7 cents.
Move approval.
Second.
Seconded to approve the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and liquor and cannabis licenses, new license, Whitewood Cider, and a renewal, 9 Dragons.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the liquor and cannabis licenses. No executive session, no presentations, public comments. Is there anyone that in the audience that would like to provide a public comment? You have 3 minutes. Okay, no public hearing, no proclamations. Old business. Chief Swain has negotiated a proposed interlocal agreement with the Lewis County Sheriff's Office for the use of jail facilities as an additional option available for the Tenino City Department. This agreement has been reviewed by the City Attorney Hughes, whose only caution is that we budget an appropriate amount for inmate medical care in the upcoming budget. Recommended action, move to authorize Mayor Fernier to enter into the interlocal agreement with the Lewis County Sheriff's Office for the use of their jail facilities.
Move approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize Mayor Fernier to enter into the interlocal agreement with Lewis County Sheriff's Office. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
New business. The SCAP grant application for Ritter Street must include a funding commitment in the amount of $31,107 as matching component. Recommended action, move to approve the commitment of $31,107 in the fiscal year 2021 as matching funds for Ritter Street SCAP grant proposal.
Move approval.
It's been moved.
Second.
Do I hear a second? And seconded to approve the commitment of $31,107 for the SCAP grant proposal. Okay, some utility customers have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 emergency, such that they have been unable to pay all or a significant portion of the city water and sewer utility bills. These individuals have not reduced to the level of federal poverty guidelines and do not qualify for the City of Tenino COVID-19 relief grant. The recommended action
Madam
is
Chair,
to, yes,
I'm sorry. Did I miss the vote on item number 8, the SCAP grant?
Nah,
Yes,
Did
we
I-
vote.
right over that.
didn't I call for a vote?
Yeah,
No.
but we all didn't say aye.
Oh,
You
well,
didn't call for
say
a vote.
Aye.
okay.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, the recommended action is to move to find the inability to pay any portion of the city account is detrimental to the health and welfare of the citizens of Tenino and injures the city as a whole. Furthermore, to forgive the utility arrearages for those customers who can prove their inability to pay any portion of their city utility account due either to COVID-19 or the government's mandated response thereto, but who do not qualify for the City of Tenino's COVID-19 relief grant. Move also to confer the authority for making future such decisions regarding individual account holders to the clerk treasurer.
Okay, with notes that we mentioned earlier, I move approval.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Am
All
I
in
to-
favor? Go ahead, John.
Aye.
I'm sorry, am I to understand the motion then is to accept this recommended action with the proviso that everyone who's in arrearages receives a letter worded appropriately to their circumstance?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No resolutions, no ordinances, reports, Chamber of Commerce, there's no report. EDC,
I
nothing.
got a report from EDC, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Experience Olympia and Beyond, VCB, no. Fire District,
We meet Thursday.
okay. Library, Museum,
Yeah, sorry, Linda, I'm here.
okay.
Just a quick report from the library. As you know, the library is closed until cleaning issues can be resolved. Library staff is working at other buildings until then. I'd like you to know that staff members called every single person who had an item waiting to let them know that we were closing and that the last opportunity to pick up the items would be last Saturday. We had a terrific response with the vast majority of people with hold items visiting us on Saturday. I'd like to remind everyone that their library card is their link to electronic resources at trl.org, including streaming movies, ebooks, e-audiobooks, and many others. The website also lists all of our virtual programming resources, which are available for youngsters through adults. Of course, we also encourage you to visit any of our neighboring libraries like Tumwater, Yelm, or Centralia for your in-person library needs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Sure.
Museum,
Apparently they were open up on the weekend and they're starting to do some more posting on the Facebook page again.
and I understand that Jessica put something on Facebook about being open on Fridays
I hadn't seen.
from noon to 4, I think she put, plus the regular hours, so.
Okay, that's new. I haven't heard that one yet. Thank you.
The Arch Commission, I'd like to invite anyone who's within earshot of this or listening to put in an application for the Arts, Recreation, Culture, and History Commission, known as Arch. And you can find the application on the city website. There are some vacancies and we'd like to see them filled. Okay. Civil Service Commission, no meeting. Planning Commission meets tomorrow night. Nothing from the Facade Grant Review Committee. Finance Committee, we haven't met. Public Safety Committee. Chief of Police. Are you with us, Chief Swain? Director of Public Works. City Planner. City Attorney. Clerk Treasurer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why it's not showing up, but I put a report in there. those of you that were present during the work session, we were looking at some of the detailed figures in the budget. Yes, the city has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't think it's been affected to the degree that many cities around us have been affected. We're still our revenues are maintaining a holding pattern, particularly with respect to the long-term accounts. We're not getting the revenues that we should have, but neither are we expending things at the rate we were before. Now it looks like our spending has tapered off some, and so it looks like we're achieving some kind of equilibrium. We've been reimbursed for all but the COVID-19 reimbursement that I submitted for. We got the Ag Park money all back. We got the Quarry Pool renovation money back. So that's a good story. We just finally got the DAHP letter, the Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, approving the City Hall renovation project. That is in the hands of Commerce. Commerce is now in the process of producing an agreement between Commerce and the city so that we can start drawing those direct legislative grant funds and get our City Hall renovated. So we will have three major projects that will have been fully executed, we anticipate, by the end of December here. So that is really exciting news. It's exciting. Thank you very much for approving the SCAP grant approval. That's going to be a good project. We're hoping that will set the model for other streets in succession. Again, working off the 6-year street plan, we'll identify those ones that we can do with assistance from the Transportation Improvement Board or whoever. Other than that, that's my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, Mayor doesn't have a report tonight. Be that.
Still closed for the summer.
Okay. CIP. That's
That's Dave.
Watterson. Yeah, and Solid Waste Advisory Board.
Yes, ma'am.
Any report? Was that Dave also?
Dave also.
Okay, TCOM. Is that also Dave?
Oh, no,
Tenino.
That's generally chief.
we don't
Oh,
have anybody on the CityCouncil committee.
Okay, Tenino School Board.
Well, it's changed since the last time we talked, guys. So school is officially not opening up in the fall. They're going to do remote learning. And the goal is to possibly just do the remote learning for the first semester, and then school will pick up after the end of the first semester. So possibly January is the goal, to have face-to-face. And then from there, it'll go into the, every other day kind of thing. So I won't have any report until then. Sports is still going strong for middle school. Girls Fast Pitch has their tournament on the 22nd. And as far as I know, soccer's still trying to pull a team together. But other than that, I will have nothing to report for school district for a while.
Thanks, Rachel. TRPC.
That's Dave.
Steady. And that they meet the third Friday. So, and the excuse me, TPB.
That's tomorrow.
Okay. Public comments is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment? If so, you have 3 minutes.
Linda, this is George. Can I make a comment?
You certainly may.
This is George Sharp with the Thurston Economic Development Council, and I just wanted to let everybody know that the Thurston Strong Small Business Micro Grants, they're $1,500. The application is at thurstonstrong.org, and the application is going to close this Friday, the 14th. We also have childcare provider grants, anywhere from $1,500 to $15,000 available, depending on how many people they have enrolled in their program. And then we are still distributing PPE to small businesses. Even if the business has already got some from us, they can reapply for that at thurstonstrong.org as well. And so we'd like to get the money out the door. Thanks.
Thanks, George. Announcements. The Association of Washington City Center for Quality Communities has issued an appeal for scholarship donations. Please see the attached flyer for details. Can we just go to, they can just go to the website, AWC website for that? John?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can.
Okay. All right. And with nothing else to discuss, someone call for adjournment, please.
So moved. Non-debatable motion.